Welcome to Engineering Out Loud, fourth episode of our series from MECHESOL's MESP Management Development Program titled Launching Projects Effectively.
Great topic today.
Yeah, absolutely. Today, we're hitting the ground running with what it takes to effectively launch projects. Think of this as your shortcut to getting those initiatives off the ground smoothly.
Setting yourself up for success right from the word go.
Exactly. This whole deep dive is packed with insights from the MECHESOL's MESP Management Development Program, and we're going to zoom in on those crucial first steps, the ones that make all the difference.
The foundation, really.
Right. Ready to launch your projects more effectively? Apply to MECHESOL's MESP Management Development Program today. Visit mechesolco.com/CPD to learn more and register.
So where does this journey of effective project launching actually begin?
Well, it all kicks off with that very first meeting, doesn't it?
The kickoff meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
It's more than just a casual hello. It really leaves the groundwork for how the entire project, will unfold. What makes that initial get-together so pivotal?
Absolutely pivotal. Think of it like this. That first meeting is your chance to get everyone on the same bus, make sure they know where you're headed.
Get that shared understanding.
Precisely. The MECHESOL program materials really nail down a few key ingredients for making this first encounter a winner. First off, introductions.
It sounds basic but important.
It does, but taking a few minutes to break the ice, let team members connect on a human level. It can seriously boost collaboration down the line.
Yeah, I've seen that. Makes a difference.
Totally. Ever been on a project where you didn't really know your teammates? It can be, a drag. Hard. Then comes the project overview, painting a crystal clear picture of why this project matters, what we're aiming to achieve, and, the actual tangible things we're going to create.
The what and the why.
Exactly. Following that, it's all about clarifying team roles and responsibilities, who's bringing what to the table. Super important.
Defining those swim lanes early.
Right. And crucially, setting those project expectations up front. Things like how we'll communicate, those all-important deadlines, and our meeting rhythm.
Setting the ground rules.
Yeah. Finally, and this is so smart, they emphasize a Q&A right at the start.
Get those questions out early.
Get them out in the open. Squash any confusion before it even starts to brew. So think about your last project launch. How effective was that initial meeting in setting everyone up for success?
That's a good question for listeners. That initial clarity seems invaluable. So after this foundational meeting, what's the next piece of the puzzle in setting a project up right?
Right, so you had that crucial kickoff. Now it's time to solidify everything with the project charter.
The formal document.
Yep. Think of it as the project's constitution, the formal document that lays out the key agreements and understanding for everyone involved. It's the go-to reference point throughout the project lifecycle.
Okay. And what are the must-have elements in this project charter according to the program? What makes it a truly effective foundation?
Well, it's got to cover the essentials. First, the project scope. A laser-focused definition of what's in and, just as critically, what's out of the project.
Defining the boundaries.
Exactly. The program really stresses keeping this concise and, avoiding scope creep down the line.
Always a battle. Scope creep.
Isn't it just? Then we have the project objectives, and these need to be rock solid, measurable, and ticking all the smart boxes.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Got it.
You got it. After that, the project deliverables the actual outputs you're producing with clear details on their format, content, and who owns them.
Tangible outcomes.
Right. And of course, you have to identify all the stakeholders, everyone who has a vested interest, from your core team to sponsors, clients, even external partners.
And mapping out their roles and interests.
Yeah, exactly. Along with their roles and what matters to them. Finally, and this is non-negotiable, getting formal approvals from the key decision makers before you properly kick things off.
The official green light.
It's like getting that green light before you leave the starting line. Essential stuff. Do you always have a formal charter in place? How does it impact project clarity? Something to think about.
Definitely. That makes perfect sense. With that formal charter in place, what's the next layer of effective project launching? We know the what, we know the who.
Okay, so you know who's on board and what the game plan is. Now you need to figure out how to keep everyone engaged and in the loop. And that's where stakeholder engagement comes into play.
Right, managing all those different people.
Yeah. The very first step is identifying all those stakeholders we just talked about in the charter.
And how does the MECHESOL program suggest we get a handle on categorizing these different stakeholders? It can be a lot of people.
It can. They introduce a really useful tool called the power and interest matrix.
Okay, power and interest.
Yeah, imagine a simple four-box grid. On one axis, you plot how much power or influence a stakeholder has over the project. On the other, you plot their level of interest or concern in the project's outcome.
Ah, so it helps you sort them out.
Exactly. This naturally divides your stakeholders into four key groups.
Interesting. Can you walk us through those categories and how we should maybe tailor our communication with each?
Absolutely. So you've got high power, high interest. These are VIPs, right? Like your sponsors and key executives.
Keep them close.
Definitely. You need to be in constant, open communication with them, keeping them fully informed, managed closely.
Makes sense. What about the others?
Then there's high power, low interest. These folks have influence, so you need to keep them satisfied, aware of major milestones, but don't, overload them with every single detail.
Keep them informed, but concisely.
Precisely. Then low power, high interest stakeholders. They might be very invested, perhaps end users or specific departments. You want to keep them informed, address their concerns, provide relevant updates to keep them feeling valued.
Keep them in the loop.
Yeah. And finally, low power, low interest. You just need to sort of monitor them. Less frequent communication usually suffices here. Minimal effort needed for this group.
That tailored approach makes so much sense for, well, efficient communication. How do we put this categorization into action in a practical way?
Good question. That's where your communication plan comes in. It flows right from that analysis.
Okay, the plan.
Yeah. You need to think strategically about the best ways to reach each stakeholder group. Is it emails, regular meetings, formal reports? What's the right channel?
And how often?
And how often, exactly. The golden rule is to tailor your messages so they actually hit home with each stakeholder's specific interests and the level of detail they require.
So not a one-size-fits-all email blast.
Definitely not. And this is crucial. You absolutely must have clear escalation procedures in place.
For when things go wrong or get stuck.
Right. So if a stakeholder has a concern that isn't being addressed, they know exactly how to raise it and who to go to. It avoids things festering.
Proactive communication really does seem to be the backbone of successful stakeholder engagement. So what's the next critical step in ensuring a smooth project launch? We've got the plan, the people.
It's all about looking around the corner, anticipating potential bumps in the road, and that's risk management.
Dealing with what could go wrong.
Exactly. The program materials really emphasize being proactive about identifying and tackling risks before they become full-blown problems.
So how does the program suggest we actually go about uncovering these potential risks? Where do you start?
They recommend a few SMART techniques. Good old-fashioned brainstorming sessions with the entire team, get everyone's perspectives out there.
Harnessing the collective brain power.
Totally. Then there's the checklist approach, where you use industry-specific lists of common pitfalls to jog your memory. Can be quite helpful.
Leverage past experience.
Right. And the Delphi technique, which is a cool way to get anonymous input from team members or experts. Sometimes that anonymity leads to more honest feedback about potential issues.
Interesting. Okay, so once you've got that list of potential risks, what's the next move? Just having a list isn't enough?
Not at all. You've got to size them up. You categorize each risk by its probability. How likely is it to actually happen? High, medium, or low?
Okay, likelihood.
And its potential impact. How bad would it be if it did happen? Again, high, medium, or low. This helps you focus your energy on the risks that could really derail your project.
Prioritize the big ones.
Exactly. Then you develop mitigation strategies for each significant risk. You could try to avoid the risk entirely by changing your plan.
Change course.
Or mitigate it by taking steps to reduce its likelihood or impact.
Lessen the blow.
Right. You could transfer it to someone else. Think insurance, for example.
Shift the responsibility.
Or simply accept it if it's minor and unlikely, but keep an eye on it.
Monitor it.
But here's the kicker. For every mitigation strategy, you need to assign ownership to a specific person and set a deadline.
Accountability.
Accountability is key. Make sure action is actually taken. By thinking ahead like this, you're equipping yourself to navigate challenges effectively.
That proactive approach to risk definitely sounds like it can save a lot of headaches down the line. Now, as you're just about to hit that launch button, what final checks does the program recommend? The last gate.
That's where the Launch Readiness Assessment, or LRA, comes in. It's your final pre-flight checklist before you give the go-ahead.
The final check. Okay.
Yeah. The materials highlight a few key areas. First, you absolutely need to confirm that all those key deliverables that were supposed to be completed before launch are actually done.
Ticking off the pre-launch tasks.
Right. Using a pre-launch task checklist is a smart way to handle this. Then, you conduct thorough pre-launch reviews of critical documents like the project charter, schedule, and budget one last time.
Double-checking the paperwork.
Just catch any lingering issues. Finally, you revisit any remaining risks and issues. Are your mitigation plans still solid? Have any new risks popped up?
Last look at potential problems.
And is everyone on the team communicating effectively and ready to tackle any last-minute hurdles? Based on this comprehensive assessment, you make that crucial go-no-go decision.
Go, no, go, go. Very clear. And what are the big payoffs for putting in the effort to do a thorough launch readiness assessment? Why bother?
Oh, the program emphasizes some really significant benefits. You get a huge boost in confidence that the project is truly ready for launch. Peace of mind.
Confidence is good.
Definitely. You're much more likely to identify and address any potential roadblocks before they cause chaos. Saves time and stress later.
Catching problems early.
And it really reinforces clear communication and collaboration across the entire team. Everyone knows you're ready. What kind of pre-launch checks do you typically perform? Are you confident you're catching potential issues?
Food for thought again.
Want to dive deeper into these project launch strategies and gain a real competitive edge? MECHESOL's MESP Management Development Program offers comprehensive training that goes into even more detail. Visit mechesolco.com/CPD to apply or register today.
Definitely worth checking out if this is resonating.
So let's bring it all together. This deep dive into effectively launching projects, drawing directly from the MECHESOL's MESP Management Development Program, really hammers home the importance of those initial steps.
Yeah, that early work is critical.
A well-thought-out project initiation, that first meeting we talked about. A crystal clear project charter.
The foundation document.
Proactive stakeholder engagement.
Keeping everyone aligned.
Robust risk management.
Thinking ahead.
And a thorough launch readiness assessment. These aren't just administrative tasks, they are the foundational pillars.
They really set the stage for smooth project execution and dramatically increase your odds of achieving those project goals.
Absolutely. Investing that time and energy upfront in these key areas creates a much stronger foundation, allowing you to navigate the inevitable complexities of any project with, well, greater confidence.
And ultimately leading to better outcomes. Less firefighting, more focused execution.
Exactly. Ready to really level up your project management skills and learn how to launch your projects with confidence every single time. Then visit mechesolco.com/CPD.
That's mechesolco.com/CPD.
Explore the MECHESOL's MESP Management Development Program and register today. Don't miss out on this fantastic opportunity.
Seriously, check it out.
Remember, by implementing these strategies, you're not just starting a project, you're setting it up for success from the very beginning. We encourage you to keep these concepts in mind as you plan your next project launch.
Build that strong foundation. Good luck with your next launch.